Let's go live now to Tel Aviv. Retired Major General Amos Yadlin, former chief of Israeli military intelligence. Good to have you back, sir. Thanks for taking the time.
Good morning, Jim.
So I wonder what you think about all the outrage. I mean, as you know from your long service, this is what intelligence agencies do. They assess the effectiveness of military strikes, and then that informs the next strikes, perhaps. The first question is, did anybody expect that a single series of U.S. strikes would completely destroy the entire Iranian nuclear program? And was that even an expectation going in?
Absolutely. When you ask the wrong question, you're getting the wrong answer. Nobody thought that you can destroy 100% of the Iranian nuclear program. The Iranians are waiting for this attack for 20 years. They dispersed all the nuclear sites. They fortified it. They put it in the middle of a mountain and under tens of meters of protection. So the physical damage is not important. What is important is that for the first time in history, American president decided to preempt a nuclear program by a rogue state. It was not done vis-a-vis North Korea, and if we go back to history, not against China or Russia. So an American president joined Israel that destroyed a lot of the sites in saying to the Iranians, we are not going to let you go to a nuclear bomb. So it's not important how much you roll them back. It's important what you will do next. Mm-hmm. And here there are two scenarios. One, that there will be an agreement that will stop Iran. I think the Iranians will come weaker to the negotiation. Witkoff will come much stronger, and they can reach an agreement that will stop Iran. So it's not important how much they will roll back. Couple of months or a year or two. It's important that they will not go back. And if there is no agreement, if the Iranians will insist on doing and advancing their nuclear program, then who came once can come again. Nobody developed a nuclear program under an attack of a Air Force, the best Air Force in the world, which is the Israeli Air Force, and the most formidable Air Force in the globe, which is the U.S. Air Force. So I don't understand why you are so much going into the BDA. And BDA, I think, it's too early to have the BDA. It's a real intelligence puzzle that you have to create from HUMINT, from SIGINT, from satellites, and then you will get a number. But I'm saying again, how much Iran was rolled back is not important. How we deal with Iran going forward, this is what's important.
You mentioned those two possibilities. You have a great deal of experience through the years of analyzing Iranian decision-making. Do you believe the Iranian leadership, and this is speculation I understand, is more likely to sit down at the table or try to go deeper to ground, right? Try to hide more, right, from the eyes, to the extent that it can, hide more of its program to preserve more of its program?
I think the last 12 days proved that Israel penetration, the Israeli intelligence penetration to Iran, is quite high. We don't know what the supreme leader will decide. He was in the past very cautious about the nuclear program. He wanted to reach to the bomb not as fast as possible, but as safe as possible. And I think it will not be safe for Iran to now to break out to the bomb, because it's not a rocket in the tunnel in Gaza. To develop a nuclear bomb, even if you have the 450 enriched uranium in 60%, and you can enrich it to 90% somewhere in Iran, you still need to do all the weaponization. the conversion from gas to metal, to do it into a warhead, the integration, all the experiment. You need a huge organization. The scientists are not there anymore, and the organization was bombed, and all the places that they worked on weaponization are gone. So it's a huge organization that you cannot hide in a cave. So I guess the American intelligence, the Israeli intelligence, will look very carefully as the #1 priority that Iran will not try to break out the bomb. Will they decide to do it? Maybe.
I presume that if Iran attempts to, Israel will be watching and is likely to take military action.
I think what we have to agree is a common Israeli-American strategy, and we have one. We have had one in Lebanon, in the northern border. We agreed with the Americans that if Hezbollah is not comply with 1701 UN Security Council resolution, and they are going down south of the Litani River, or produce ballistic missiles or drones, or smuggling, Israel has the right to attack them. And this is exactly what we are doing in the last 6 months. So we have to agree with the American. It is not the same case, but it's far away and more difficult. But in Lebanon, we don't need the Americans to help us. On Iran, we need a common understanding that the goal now is to stop Iran from breaking out to the bomb. And we can do it on the same principle.
Before we go, and I understand that Israel's own battle damage assessments are still underway and it takes time. Has Israel found anything different from this initial U.S. assessment in terms of how far the damage went from the U.S. strikes?
I understood that the discussion in America is mostly on Fordo. And Fordo, as we know, is under a mountain. And I don't think that anyone was in the mountain because the Iranians or the Israelis, somebody blocked all the entrances. So this argument, as I say, is not important. And let me remind you that there were many in the intelligence community that predicted that there will be thousands of American casualties in the bases in the Gulf if America or Israel will attack Iran. That the closure of Hormuz Strait will happen and the price of oil will go to 200, 300. It's never happened. So I think we need modesty, especially if we trying to make our enemy 10 feet high, and he is not. And we need to think that what have been done by Israel and by the US is a unique historical move that can change the Middle East. And let's concentrate on continuing to weaken Iran. And if Iran is weakened, the Middle East will be different because Iran was the source of instability, of terror, of attacking Israelis and Americans and shooting to Saudi Arabia, to the UAE. If Iran will be weaker, and they are weaker, and we continue to keep them there, then we can shape a different Middle East with peace, with normalization between Israel and Saudi and Syria and Lebanon. And you know what, Jim? Even the Israeli-Palestinian issue can move forward because the Iranians were those who spoiled it all the time by financing, training, sending weapons to the terror organization that wanted to derail the peace process from 96 to the 7th of October.
Major General Yadlin joining us from Tel Aviv. We do appreciate you taking the time.
It's a pleasure always to be hosted by CNN.
Well, Donald Trump is in the Netherlands.